Gardens are being identified as significant location of placemaking and environmental negotiation for migrant communities in Australia. We extend and add nuances to this understanding by taking into consideration both gardens that belong to migrants and gardens made by plants that migrate. More importantly, in the case of multicultural suburbs in Sydney, gardens need to be understood as sites of entanglements among people and plants, arriving from different trajectories like the olive, papaya, and mango trees in this backyard. Following Mary-Louise Pratt, we think of these gardens as contact zones, as social spaces where disparate cultures meet, clash, and grapple with each other. To do this, we use ethnographic and design research methods, which include iterative ways of walking and mapping neighborhoods, over-the-fence conversations, semi-structured interviews and oral histories, and Instagram as a visual note-taking toolkit. We usually think of this process as walking with plants. Some of these walks took place in and past gardens made by humans and gardens made by road plants growing wild in Marrickville, a suburb in the inner city of Sydney, in the land of Cadigal and Wangal people of the Eora nation. As the current home of a large population of migrants, Marrickville is in itself a contact zone between a Mediterranean and a tropical imaginary, between industrial landscapes and residential streets. But we also realized that gardens in themselves are contact zones, sites of constant grappling with different order of things, translations, reinventions. Contact zones where plants as well as humans play a key role. In the context of transnational and translocal mobility, gardens are symbolic and material sites of translation and reinvention. They make settling, regrounding, and the sense of feeling at home possible. With migration, activities, things, sensory worlds, memories, and language are not simply displaced. They are reshuffled and reconfigured out of their usual location and into new environments. Gardens are important in this reconfiguration and reshuffling because they generate place by adapting and translating ways of doing and sensing. For instance, an Indonesian garden's garden mimics a tropical forest, but it does so through permaculture design. An Italian gardener's backyard is a productive orto of South European vegetables, but remixed with tropical plants. We propose that these actions of reconfiguration and translation are not only examples of regrounding and addressing displacement, but also a way to make space for multiple sensory worlds and multiple sensing positions in a culturally diverse society. They are, borrowing from Ranciere, a redistribution of the sensible. Ranciere argues that the social order is a set of implicit norms and costumes which regulate forms of exclusion and inclusion which control participation and distribution of roles in a community. This order is founded on what Ranciere calls the distribution of the sensible. Sensible means here that which pertains to the senses.
The distribution of the sensible, then, is the way in which belonging and participation to a community is based on the regulation of sensory forms. Plants produce multiple sensory worlds through the way they look, taste, feel, and smell, and generate ecosystems. By producing this multiplicity of ways of sensing, they are co-conspirators in the redistribution of the sensible. Here, as elsewhere, plants escape from gardens and are also found on street verges and in industrial areas. Sometimes they are planted, sometimes their seeds are carried by birds or bats or rats, or spat and composted by humans. They grow between buildings, around canals, and along train lines. Olive and fig trees are found in verges, their fruits harvested by their carers, but also by other locals, creating a form of urban commoning. Bananas send out suckers, but then escape gardens to occupy, for instance, this wild grove along train lines, where they reclaim a disturbed landscape. Once there, they protect taro, papaya, and other species that dwell closer to the ground. And for as long as they are left alone, they keep spreading untended. Seeds of papayas are distributed by birds and bats and humans. They grow wherever there is a niche, such as a sheltered asphalt and resourced by water. Dragon fruits demand ad hoc structures made from recycled wood, adapted pagodas, multifunctional fences. Parts break off and humans offer them to other humans. This sharing of themselves creates networks between humans and plant-led tropical commons. We call this multi-species design. We want to finish with an invitation. What kind of route would your daily walk take if you were to follow plants? What kind of imaginary would they produce? Map with us, with Mapping Edges, on Instagram and Twitter.